Hi everyone, it's Ashley from Amazon Pay. Thank you for joining us for this month's Pay Talks Live webinar. This month, we're looking at the ways voice commerce can help your growing e-commerce business. So according to Amazon Pay's 2019 Global Connected Commerce Study, 44% of consumers indicated that they were likely to use the voice channel in at least some part of their shopping journey in the next 3 years. In 2020, there are signals that voice adoption continues to rise as consumers move towards a more touchless experience. So, how can your business implement an effective voice commerce strategy to take advantage of this customer behavior? When you browse through the Alexa Skills Store, you can see more than 25,000 skills that enable a rich variety of customer experiences. Businesses have found innovative and inspiring ways to use voice services that delight customers and push boundaries of technology and commerce. So first, let me welcome our two speakers today. Here with us, we have Leah Holzman-Glass from Amazon Pay, as well as Kristen Alden, Head of Product for Amazon Pay and Alexa Money Domain. Thank you both for being here. Today, during this webinar session, Leah will first take us through 7 ways that businesses are using Alexa and Amazon Pay to enhance the shopping experience with your voice. Hopefully, they'll help inspire you in creating your own voice experience. And then we're going to pass it off to Chris, who's going to share 3 crucial tips for getting started in developing a voice strategy of your own. During this session, we encourage you to listen, learn, and discover a few different ways that your brand can develop its own voice strategy. So without further ado, Leah, I'll go ahead and pass it off to you.
Thanks, Ashley, and thanks everyone for joining. I'm Leah from Amazon Pay. Welcome again to our webinar series Pay Talks, where we cover one topic in 10 questions, points, or ideas, and we do it in 20 minutes or less. Your time is precious, and frankly, if you've got more than 20 minutes to spare, I really want to know your secret. And there's one other reason we keep things short. It's because I'm a fast talker, so be warned. Chris and I are in a contest who can talk faster. So our goal is to share big ideas that you can turn into big wins. We don't have all the answers, but the road to a big win always begins with a question. So let's get started. But before we dive in, I want to offer you a quick overview of what Amazon Pay is, because believe it or not, we get this question a lot. Amazon Pay is a payment option that lets shoppers use the payment details and addresses stored in their Amazon account to buy things on thousands of stores worldwide. That means customers don't need to create a new account, punch in credit card details, or look up addresses during checkout. You can even use Alexa to buy things, get delivery notifications, and donate to your favorite charities with Amazon Pay. And when it comes to voice, the current environment feels a bit like the early days of the .com era in the 90s. Consumer behavior is shifting quickly. Shoppers are eager to try out new experiences, but many merchants simply aren't reaching them because they don't have a digital presence. We believe voice is the next real opportunity worth seizing, particularly in today's increasingly touchless environment. And you should remember that merchants that are early adopters can enjoy a first mover advantage with this technology because it is not yet ubiquitous. 1 in 5 consumers indicate that the proportion of voice purchases when compared with all other channels will increase in the next 2 years, and that's a valuable audience to engage. History teaches us another lesson when it comes to voice. Think of this channel as an enhancement, not a replacement. When people started shopping on their mobile devices, other e-commerce channels didn't disappear. Instead, the new channels emerged to enhance the customer experience, adding convenience at each stage of the shopping journey. So think about voice in this way. So let's get started. Example 1 of 7, purchase a favorite product. According to the Amazon Pay Connected Commerce Survey, in the next 3 years, 30% of consumers are likely to purchase and pay for a product using voice. That's why the shoe company Rothy's has implemented a voice commerce strategy that allows customers to order their ideal pair of Rothy's shoes by selecting design, size, color, and other specifications, all with their voice, starting with a simple request. Alexa, ask Rothy's to buy some flats. Similarly, the Spanish wine specialist at Vino Selección also have an innovative shopping skill that allows their consumers to discover Spanish wine through the voice channel, delighting customers by educating them about wine while providing them with a monthly selection, making it easier for them to try new things. The journey starts by saying, Alexa, ask Vino Selección for their monthly selection. And from there, shoppers can order the 3 extraordinary wines Spanish wines curated for them each month, all while learning fun facts about wine, the Spanish wine region, and grape varietals. Example 2 of 7. Find the perfect last-minute gift. Ordering flowers is a time-honored tradition, but the process of picking out or putting together a bouquet can be a hassle, and it often needs to be done on a tight timeline. Interflora, the British flower delivery company, has launched a first-of-its-kind Amazon Alexa skill that allows their customers to order flowers from their network of more than 1,200 expert florists across the UK using only their voice. In what is a first for the UK retail sector, customers can now ask, Alexa, open Interflora, and they're taken through a step-by-step process of choosing a bouquet and checking out with Amazon Pay, with options for same-day delivery as well as for any date in the future. For an international business like Interflora, the voice channel offers an incredible opportunity to go global while also staying local, and the company's Alexa skill is now also available in Spain. Example 3 of 7, check delivery status. A customer's shopping journey doesn't end with the purchase. Once that order is in, the shopper is going to want to know where their new product is. And now with delivery notifications through Alexa, merchants can let their customers know that their order is on its way and when it has arrived, all through voice. Currently, Alexa delivery notifications are also enabled through BigCommerce and Magento, making the skill easy to turn on if you're working with either of these commerce providers. The German e-commerce company Hood.de has augmented their services by building a voice skill that helps their customers follow up on orders by saying, Alexa, ask Hood.de about my orders. And from there, shoppers can see where in the post-purchase journey their products actually are. Example 4 of 7. Buy tickets to the big show. Understandably, going out to the movies or the theater isn't on the top of everyone's list just right now. But when those audiences return, they'll appreciate skills offered by Atom Tickets and London Theatre Direct. Atom Tickets is the only movie ticketing skill that lets customers reserve seats by voice, as well as helping them skip tedious steps during payment using Amazon Pay to process the order. All customers have to do to kick off the process is say, Alexa, ask Atom for movie tickets. And they can find out which movies are playing near them, buy tickets with their voice, and then securely pay with the payment and shipping information stored in their Amazon account. Similarly, theater goers in London can discover and book the best that's on stage using the London Theatre Direct skill, which helps customers find tickets for best-selling shows and hear the latest special offers. You just have to say, I want to see Hamilton, along with or whatever show you wish to see, to start a swift and intuitive booking process. London Theatre Direct has also simplified booking to ensure customers get the best seats at the best price without spending hours searching the internet. Example 5 of 7, make in-demand reservations. It's not just seating at the theater that Alexa is good at helping customers reserve. Businesses and customers are taking advantage of voice services capabilities to handle reservations of all kinds, even parking. ParkWiz has a skill that lets customers find and book parking by just saying, Alexa, ask ParkWiz to find parking nearby. The voice skill sends pricing as well as directions to help weary drivers avoid the parking hunt by reserving a space ahead of time. And now, thanks to Alexa and Amazon Pay, ParkWiz has reduced the time it takes their users to book parking to just a minute, or actually 61 seconds. The ParkWiz skill also takes advantage of another unique characteristic of voice as a channel, which is to help when the user's hands are otherwise occupied. No one wants a driver to be fumbling around with their mobile device while on the hunt for a parking spot. So instead, voice is the ideal interface for those moments when anything else simply isn't possible. Example 6 of 7, making life a bit easier. Voice skills should make life easier on your customers, whether that's helping with a reorder or a return process or answering customers' burning questions, sharing information on your product and everything related to it. That's just what the hair salon booking service Open Salon offers with their voice skill. Their voice service can help customers save time in booking their next haircut, and while they're at it, they can purchase their favorite products and whatever else a pre or post salon visitor might need. And Toll Tickets, the company that makes traveling across Europe nothing but fun by giving customers access to the European toll network. Understanding that their customers don't just need tickets to travel on highways, they need to know everything about the toll system in order to feel at ease. That's why the toll ticket skill has made it easier for their customers to not only purchase toll tickets, but also get information about the tolls of each company they're traveling to, easily fielding questions like, what does a 10-day vignette cost for Austria? And example 7 of 7, donate to charities. Donating to charities is a meaningful way to engage with voice commerce, and Alexa makes giving to a charity aligned with your values, whether it's the British Red Cross or the World Wildlife Fund, as easy as talking. The NSPCC, the UK's leading child charity, was the first charity to accept donations using Amazon Alexa after the launch of a donation template skill for the platform. An Amazon Alexa user can enable the NSPCC skill either through the Alexa app or by using their voice and saying, Alexa, open the NSPCC to donate without any donation limit. Some charity organizations bring even more attention to the good work they do by creating more interactive and engaging aspects to their skills. The World Wildlife Fund has included a quiz in their skill to encourage their prospective donors to imagine what sneaking through the rainforest is like, or what happens in the deepest depths of the oceans, and what they can do to help preserve the beauty of the planet. If users feel motivated by what they learn about the natural world, they can support the World Wildlife Fund by making an in-skill donation quickly and easily using Amazon Pay to process all payments. Now, before we start diving into how businesses are using voice, let's look at how consumers are using voice today and how they plan to use it in the future. According to the findings of a double-blind survey conducted by Amazon Pay, in the next 3 years, shoppers plan to adopt voice across every step of the shopping journey, from discovery to post-purchase. There were certain activities that respondents said they were more likely to use voice for, with 43% saying they would use it to search for products, 42% using it to compare prices, and another 43% using it to check delivery status. But voice isn't just for shopping. The Amazon Pay survey also found that in the next 3 years, consumers would also likely use voice services for other financial activities. 26% of respondents said they were likely to use voice services to pay bills at 26%. Another 26% said they would use it for banking, and 22% said they would use it to send and receive money from individuals. And another 19% said they would donate to charities. So now that we know what the consumer wants from voice services, I will pass it off to Chris to dive into the different experiences consumers enjoy on voice interfaces. Over to you, Chris.
Great. Thanks, Leah. And I got invited back. That's always a good sign. So hi, everybody. I'd like to spend the next couple minutes talking a bit about a couple of tips and about how to think about your voice strategy. So the first one is around habitual purchases. So it's great to see customers and businesses all embrace Alexa. Over the last couple of years, we've seen a great growth of adoption and usage. But the thing to keep in mind is that for a lot of our customers, this is also still the very first time that they're using voice. And as part of that, as with any new product or any new experience, when you're trying to have customers who are early adopters or trying things for the first time, you want to build trust. And the way you build trust that we found, one of the most effective ways is to focus on what habits the customer already has. In the case of Alexa, I think it's a great opportunity to really look at your customer and think about what are the habitual behaviors that our customers or your customers are doing today that could easily be transported or added value with voice and Alexa. And sometimes when you think about habits, you don't always have to think specifically just about buying things. Sometimes it's habitual behaviors, things that the customer sees value and would have convenience in using voice that they do over and over again. But obviously, from a purchase perspective, refills and subscriptions, frequently purchased products, human beings are creatures of habit. So my first tip for voice is to focus on habitual purchases. And it's okay if your skill or your experience in Alexa or voice is only focused on that habit. It doesn't have to be expansive. It doesn't have to solve everything. What it really needs to solve is something in the moment for the customer, which actually brings me to my next tip. The one caution that I always have for people as they develop voice strategies and voice experiences is that they tend to sometimes get overly focused on getting to the transaction and become very myopic in some cases. I think voice is really a great value add, and it doesn't always necessarily have to be a standalone. It can be a good standalone, but it can also be a very good complement to some of the things that the customer already does and some of the other channels and touch points that you already have. A great example or a great way to think about it that I've encouraged everyone to think about it is, why don't you start, instead of saying, how do we use voice and Alexa to get ourselves a transaction as quickly as possible, work backwards instead and ask yourself, in this particular moment, how can I be as useful as possible to the customer with voice? And a lot of times you can find great opportunities where the customer in that moment may not have the convenience of using that mobile phone, or maybe clunky. Cooking in a kitchen is a great example, driving in a car, or they focus on other things where the convenience of voice as a value add, as a reminder, as a sometimes just an advisor, is also a great opportunity to think about voice and incorporating voice. So work backwards from the moment and ask yourself, how can I be useful to the customer is my next tip. And think about voice as a value add. And my last tip is really treat the customer as if you're having a conversation. And sometimes when you're having a conversation in real life, it's about simplicity. You don't want to overcomplicate. If you were talking to a customer in real life, you wouldn't overcomplicate the conversation by starting to inject a lot of things that are complex or requires them to think a lot of things and sometimes really consider, because it's a high risk decision. Sometimes a conversation can be as simply as asking someone to do something they're very familiar with, or helping them make a decision that they just need a little bit of a nudge. And when you focus on low complexity, low risk products, which tends to be the case when it comes to voice and commerce in these early days, then I think you're going to find that customers don't need to think too much. And when they don't need to think too much and it just becomes a natural part of the conversation, then they're going to be more than likely to convert, which is the ultimate goal, but also they'll be more than likely to come back and use voice and engage with you. So if you think about where to focus, the first thing, as I said earlier on, was around habits, but the second thing to focus on is just the type of conversations you want to have and the type of products you want to have should be around low complexity and low risk items. They tend to be more often than not the ones that tend to be more successful with customers. And over time, as customers get more comfortable, as I said, the first order of business is to build trust with your customers with voice. You will find opportunities in the future to start introducing more complexity and more opportunities to talk to your customer about other things. But don't try to over complicate things and keep it simple is my last tip. And with that, I'm going to hand it back to Leah to re-summarize.
Chris, thanks for sharing those insights. And, you know, I agree with you about the low complexity. One of the best things about voice and Alexa is that it requires no training. You just have to ask and you'll get an answer. So with that, let's recap. So businesses have found all sorts of innovative ways to implement voice strategies, from buying flowers and tickets to checking on orders and donating to charity. But what all these services have in common is that they are delightful to use and make customer shopping easy and convenient. And as you develop your own voice strategy, remember to focus on habitual purchases and hand-free scenarios that are low risk. And back over to you now, Chris.
Great. And you know, hopefully the examples that Leah walked you through has sparked some good ideas among everyone. So just to recap, what I've said is, you know, think about voice, think about the moment, and think about how you can help your customers be the most valuable to your customers and help them in that moment. And if it's whether it's purchasing favorite products, whether it's finding that perfect last minute gift and giving the customer who's looking for a bit of advice, a bit of that nudge, or even just helping them, remind them, especially nowadays, that the delivery is actually sitting outside the door and they should go check and get that delivery. These are things that are all very helpful. And it doesn't always have to be about transaction. All the things that I've talked about, what Leah talked about, Ultimately, it's about making our customers have delightful experiences and solving problems for them in the moment. So as you develop your own strategy, remember to focus on habitual purchases, things that are easy, keep it simple. And as I keep saying, just think about how the customer can have some value add from the things you're doing. And more likely than not, you're going to find that voice is going to be a part of that strategy naturally. So with that, I'll hand it over to Ashley to wrap things up.
Great. Thank you so much, Chris, and thank you, Leah, for joining us today and for sharing those insights and examples. I also want to thank you, our audience, for joining us. As a reminder, here are a few of the merchants that offer Amazon Pay. And if you'd like to recommend Amazon Pay to your favorite shop, just send an email to askamazonpay@amazon.com. Now, if you're already a fan, we'd also love it if you could visit G2 Crowd and let us know how we're doing. And if you think Amazon Pay might be a good fit for your business, definitely check out our reviews on G2 Crowd. Amazon Pay is recognized as a G2 Crowd leader in the payments industry. So for those of you who may not know what G2 Crowd is, it's an independent review site that aggregates reviews of software and services to help businesses make smarter decisions about the technology solutions they choose. Now, wrapping up, I want to thank you again to our audience for joining us and also to our speakers, both Chris and Leah, for your examples, tips, and insights. We hope this has inspired you to think about integrating voice into your e-commerce offering. Now, the webinar will be uploaded to our on-demand webinar library at paid.amazon.com after the call. Now, if you want to learn more about voice and what Amazon Pay can do for your business, we definitely recommend to visit us at pay.amazon.com or also to reach out to us at askamazonpay@amazon.com with any of your questions. Now, thank you all for joining. We look forward to seeing you in a future Pay Talks live session soon. Have a great one. Thank you.